Hello and welcome to another edition of Workforce Watercooler. We have a very special guest today joining myself, John, and Brian from the South Central Workforce Development Board. We have Layla, and please help me with your last name. I do not want to mispronounce it.
Layla Nahanovich-Bečić.
Yes, awesome. I'd rather do that than say it wrong. And Layla works for Career Team. They are the direct service provider for the Kentucky Career Center, and that's the group that the board oversees. So, sort of a convoluted explanation of who everyone is, but the big topic is the tornadoes that we've recently experienced. Have you all individually suffered damage?
I did not. I thankfully, my place was several miles away from the tornado. I had a niece that had some property damage, and my sister lives within about 2 to 3 blocks of where the tornado went, and but oddly enough, there's damage all around her house, but she had very little. But they've been without power for, I think they're going on 5 days without power. So
Wow.
I don't think that part of town. I don't even know if they have an estimate on when they're going to get their power back.
Mm-hmm.
But with me and my family, no, we were very fortunate, very fortunate. But we do have. I just want to say, my heart goes out to all the families that have suffered. We've had a lot of suffering and a lot of devastation and loss, particularly in parts of Bowling Green. My heart goes out to those families.
Absolutely, and that's what we're focusing on today, but we're focusing on it from a slightly different angle. The impact of the recent tornadoes on businesses and also employees of those businesses. And our focus is really what can the board and the partners of the board, what can we do to help? So Brian does not have video, he has audio. Brian, would you care to kick us off? What are we doing? What can we do?
And Brian has had some damage.
I have had some damage,
place.
and yes, it's minor compared to the tornado that came in the street right behind me. So it was literally steps away from it, and it's been overwhelming to see my neighborhood, turned upside down. And but the neighbors have really come together. I don't think we've had injuries, and certainly not fatalities in the neighborhood. But that's not obviously true of other parts of town. So. Similar to John, my heart and prayers go out to them for that. But we've had individual. This tornado I think there's been at least 3 confirmed tornadoes that ripped through just parts of Bowling Green and Warren County, and it not only hit neighborhoods, it hit businesses. And so we know that there are some businesses that have just been wiped off. We have other ones that have been damaged enough where they're not open, and so there is going to be emergency assistance available, but part of the recovery that's available, that will soon be available very soon, is unemployment insurance and kind of disaster unemployment insurance that can help fill the immediate needs that people might have. So we're seeking to identify who those businesses are. We're seeking to gain information about their employees so that we can help make this process as easy as possible. And it's overwhelming with everything else that's having to be reported to insurance, I'm sure, and possibly to FEMA. And we want to be able to handhold if we can, as part of our role to businesses right now.
Very good. Layla, anything to add? I know your role is the business services representative. What can you, and Brian did a great job of sort of explaining what we're doing. What could you add to that?
I just want to say, to echo everyone else, I'm just truly so sorry for everyone that's suffered any damage, any loss, especially with their home, families, and businesses. It's never easy losing everything, and on top of a pandemic, we get hit with a tornado out of all things. So again, my condolences go out to everybody, but we know how hard it is to recruit people, let alone retain people, especially if you have a great team that you're working with. So all these small businesses that have built these teams up and that's their family, we just want to make sure that you're able to keep those people around, even if your business isn't around. So just by going out and kind of meeting with them and seeing what resources they're needing, we just want to be able to take care of them in any way that we can. And this is how we know how we can help.
And can I say that, what I'd convey to all the business owners, big and small, the Kentucky Career Center on Chestnut Street's open. We're open for business, and we're ready to receive those employees that have been, displaced by the tornado. So if your place of business isn't functioning, have them come down and see our staff. If somebody's identified as a tornado victim or impacted by the tornado, no appointment necessary. We're going to see them and we're going to start working with them. From a state and a federal government perspective, within the next couple of days, some disaster related unemployment should be released. But regular unemployment we can help out that right now. So people can come down and they can file. And just to kind of add a little bit more kind of detail and context to that, when the pandemic hit and, we had a record number of folks file for unemployment, there was also a record amount of fraud that occurred. And so within the last month, over the course of this year, the state has continued to put security measures in place to prevent fraud. And then over the last month, they've implemented a new program called ID Me, which seeks to verify somebody's identity. And so now ID Me is kind of a prerequisite for filing for unemployment. And, prior to this tornado over the last month, we had been seeing a lot of people coming in and we were helping them get registered on ID Me so that they could then turn around and file for their unemployment. So we're ready to do that. We have computer systems ready. We have staff ready. Have people come in. We'll sit down. We'll get them on a computer. We'll help them get registered for ID Me, and then we'll help them file their claim. And so we want to be helpful in that regard. I mean, that's the least that we can do. I know there's probably a lot of business owners out there that may not have ever, had to send anybody to the Kentucky Career Center for this type of assistance. But we have a staff and we're ready to go on that. So anyway, I'll stop there. Leslie, any questions or comments on that, or Layla?
Yeah, I was going to say, I just have one more thing to add. If you've never filed before, or even if you're 1099 self-employed and you've never gone through this process, there is a phenomenal team. They are just wonderful working with people. They understand what everyone's been through. A lot of them lived in that area or near the area, or have had family that have went through the same thing. So they are, and always have been, just very understanding about people coming through looking for that help. So, the help is there. They want to help and get you set up. Even if you've never gone through the process before, they're there to make it as seamless as possible.
Yeah, Layla, you're spot on. We have a great team. And I'll say this, and something that we're looking at as a team is we recognize that not everybody can come to the Kentucky Career Center on Chestnut. So we're willing to come to you. So, if you're an employer or you're an organization that is dealing with folks that have been displaced by the storm, please connect with us. We would love to come out. We'll bring a team out to you, and we will sit down with folks, and we will help them get registered and get their and file for unemployment, or if they need connected to another service, we're a good resource to get folks connected to a variety of other resources. So again, we'll come to you. We'll meet you where you are. We just let us know and we'll figure it out. We'll schedule something with you and come out.
And
And
I would add real quick too that if there is anybody listening who's a business owner or knows a business owner, you have doubts if they know about this resource, please, forward this video or forward our Facebook information, at least social media contact info. We want to be in touch. We've tried to reach out to some businesses through Facebook, but you kind of have to know we exist, and you have to kind of, we have to kind of know you exist. But if there's businesses out there that we've not been able to reach, or we're not sure, don't worry about finding out if we've already reached them or not. Just forward the information and have them contact us.
And I just really quickly want to give a huge shout out to my partner, Brian Hoffman, who is also a business service representative. He and I have identified about 70 or so businesses, but we know over 100 have been, damaged and lost power and are struggling right now. So it would be wonderful if the community can kind of pitch in and just send this out, as Brian Becker was saying, just send out the video and share it and let people know that we're also a resource as well.
And Leslie, do you want to talk about the social media and the intake form that we've got and a little bit of the process?
Yes, I will. One thing that that I thought about that we definitely need to stress is we are the South Central Workforce Development Board. That means we cover the 10-county region of South Central Kentucky. This is not specific to Bowling Green. We know that many small towns throughout the region have been hit. We know that businesses have been hit all over our 10 counties. And just as John mentioned, we can come to businesses. If you're an individual who lives in our 10-county region and you do not have internet access, we'll need to confirm, but to my knowledge, our access points that we have throughout the region are operational. And that's a place you can go to. You can even schedule an appointment for someone to meet with you at that access point to help you file for unemployment if you've been impacted by the tornado. Just as Layla said, if this is your first time filing, it can be a little overwhelming, especially with some of the new requirements for identification. So help us help you. We are here for the entire 10-county region. And if you do follow us on social media, which I would highly recommend, South Central Workforce Development Board, we are constantly posting updates there. You can find a flyer on social media for businesses, also for job seekers or people who have been impacted by the tornado. And those will take you to the intake forms that we're talking about. And that's the first step. The first step is to connect with us so that we can get your information. And, we keep your information private. This is so we can connect with you and help your business. If you're going to be closed for a while for repairs, we will help your employees with unemployment, because if you've got a great team and you want to keep that team together, this is the way to do it. So lots of good information. Any closing thoughts from anyone? I know it's been a heck of a week.
Yeah, I think I really quickly just want to say I have been in Bowling Green for about 20 years now, and I've never seen such a strong sense of community anywhere. So I'm excited to see how strong Bowling Green comes back after this. You're on mute.
Yeah,
we can't hear you, John.
All right, I muted because my dogs were barking. So Leslie mentioned something. We do know there was tornado damage, tornadoes that touched down in Logan County, Barron County, Hart County. We especially need help in identifying those businesses that were impacted. I would say if you ask me today, we have a little less awareness of those businesses than we do of what's going on here in Warren County, just because the level of reporting has been different. So need your help there, because we want to get out and serve those counties and those employers and those employees as well, and take care of them.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us for this episode of Workforce Water Cooler, and we will see you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.